I don't know where you go from here.
Insecure. The final episode has finally aired. And it is bittersweet. Great show. I mean, it's been 5 seasons, 5 years, and we've watched Issa Rae become extremely successful over the 5 years. It has really transformed her life, and it's really just a great show. So let's talk about some interesting moments that I loved. Um, I love that the ending was wholesome. I know some people were disappointed with the ending, but when it comes to things like this, I don't know what you expect. Like it's you're not gonna love the ending of a show that ends after 5 years. Like tell me one show. I really want someone to write down one show that they were happy about the ending. And when people say that they're upset, like what did you expect? What would have been a better ending, right? And something like this, I felt as though, and maybe because I'm a writer, like, and I write series and I write scripts, so I understand like where they're coming from the writing perspective. Um, and so with Insecure, I don't know what people thought. Like some people have complained to me and said this season is not good, da 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 da. But to me, based on what the show is, it really is on par with what Insecure has always been about. And I love the symbolism at the end of the show. But before we get into that, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. It really pushes this video out in the algorithm and encourages me to make more videos. This video is brought to you by Brand Video Pro. We help brands and influencers scale their influence and sales. So if that is useful to you, head on over to our website, click the link down below, and find out how we can help you. All right, let's begin. Very wholesome ending. I loved seeing the growth. So like earlier in the season, we had Issa's character dreaming about her future in this like lavish mansion. She wasn't sure which guy was going to be in her mansion with her. But her life was lavish, XYZ. And I love that at the end of the show, they sped us through like the final episode like sped through some years. And we got to see her in this lavish lifestyle that she had dreamed of. Maybe not exactly the way she dreamed of it, but similar. And that's that's very real. That's what reality is like. Well, for people that achieve their dreams, right? It's never going to be exactly the same as what you imagined or what you envisioned, but it's going to be similar, right? And so she has this dream house, dream car. She has this dream business that's bossing up. She's driving home. On her way home, she passes through her old neighborhoods, her old workplace, the CVS, the Rite Aid, I think, where she fought with Lawrence in season 1. A lot of like nods to season 1 at the end when she was driving home. She drove past We Got Y'all. She drove past, her past, driving into her future or her present in this beautiful LA home with her beautiful husband. I believe, I wasn't sure if he's her husband because I didn't see where the ring was. I think the ring was on her right hand, not on her left. Not sure if she and Lawrence were married, but Lawrence and his kid are there. It's her birthday, and they're this big, happy family, and it just kind of represents how, yes, it's unfortunate that he had a child outside, but it was sort of this representation that, well, whatever it is, we just make it work, right? And at the end of the day, when we look at what we have, it's a beautiful, happy family together. And that was just such a great way. I just love that they ended up together. I think it was just so adorable. And I love that they've already started their family, and we can see that Issa gets along with his child. It's just really very cute. Very cute. Then let's talk about Molly. Obviously, Molly marrying Dorian. She marries him. Her mom dies. That was so sad, but we did get the foreshadowing earlier in the season of her mom being sick, and even just her reaction when her mom died, that was super sad. But what I liked about the finale is the simplicity of it and how comparable or how relatable it is, or how similar it is to real life, right? They really represented what it would, an authentic sort of view of what these characters' lives would be like from a realistic perspective. And it's symbolism because like Molly's mom would complain about her father potentially dying and not getting to see her get married, and in the end it was actually her mom that died and didn't get to see her get married. And that's just kind of like the reality of the modern world. or modern dating, where women don't, especially career women, lawyers, like career women like Amali, does it like waits till later in life to get married, and unfortunately if somebody waits that long, well, they might lose a parent along the way. So that was a very realistic perspective of that as well. But it was super unfortunate that that happened. Another really interesting part of it, or very important part of it, was the unity between Molly and Issa, and them sort of like reestablishing this season has been about them reestablishing their friendship. We remember in past seasons we saw them fight and we were all upset about it, but by the end of the season it's like they wanted to sort of save Molly's character because so many people were upset with Molly. But aside from that, showcasing their love for each other, their connection to one another, them crying on her wedding night, Issa being there for her, even when her mom was in hospital, on her wedding night, being the friend or the best friend that everybody just deserves to have. Molly and Issa are that for each other. And we see that through, because in a way, we've always see throughout the series, we've always seen Molly being there for Issa. And so towards this season, the final season, we finally get to see Issa showing up for Molly in this way. And so that was an interesting component as well. I have to say, wow, well, the final line was the best symbolism and all of that. And it was the whole conversation about the broken pussy symbolism, right? So if you remember in the first ever episode, Issa is singing from the mirror and she's singing like about her broken pussy. And that's the actual last line in the show. She's there playing I'm Bossy, and I believe that's the same song that was in the premiere episode in season 1. And then the last line that Yvonne Orji's character Molly says is something broken pussy. I'm gonna put that there. Again, these are all the components that are necessary for screenwriting, right? So we start something, you finish it. Right? You start something, you finish it. So they established Molly and Issa's relationship, their closeness. They went through some rocky patches, and in the end, they completed that friendship, and showed that they were even stronger than they've ever been. Even though they've been through these trials and tribulations, it only made their friendship stronger. Issa and Lawrence, they went through these ups and downs, not being it together. But at the end of the show, it showed that they are stronger together. Even all the hardships, him having a child outside, them breaking up, him being broke, it all worked out for them, and they are still together. So this show is really about relationships, if anything. Not just about romance, but human relationships, especially Black relationships in Los Angeles. And they stayed true to that throughout the series, the seasons, and especially in the final episode. So they really paid off all the things that they sort of opened up in previous seasons. And that is actually good writing. That is good storytelling. The authenticity of the show, how compelling the show is, and the fact that they're not loose, they're not disorganized with their storytelling. Everything that they start is finished, is paid off at the end. And I mean, this is HBO. That's the quality that you expect from HBO. So I have to say, some people did not like this season because they might have thought, I've spoken to a few people, they didn't like it, they didn't think it was funny, or they didn't think this or that or whatever. But when it comes down to the fundamentals of storytelling, especially for the screen and screenwriting, if you ask me, they did a stellar job with the fundamentals. And I talked about this in another video. When people say they like something, they don't like something, well, they're different components, right? When we're talking about Hollywood productions, especially like the upper echelon of Hollywood productions, like HBO, they're the top guys. That's really just about subjectivity, because once you have the foundation down, which is like good story structuring, good writing, good dialogue, good acting, good production, sound, all of that. Those are the basic foundations. And you typically get that in all Hollywood movies. Some Hollywood movies kind of lag on the storytelling part, the scripting part, of the quality of that. Some of them even lag in the acting components. But we've been given that with HBO, right? They've given that to us. So now, whether or not people like this or not has to do with how compelling it is or how they relate with this specific story. Now, some of the jokes might not land to some people because you personally don't find that funny, but that's subjective. So whether somebody likes the ending or isn't, that's just really just really subjective. Not everyone's going to like it. Not everyone's going to like the way it ends because it didn't meet your expectations. It didn't serve you, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. And I think that people should just understand that there's a difference between something being relatable to you, something serving your interest, and something being good or bad. And when I think about it from objectively, from just sort of like storytelling and then paying off all the things that they've done, just the quality and the refinement of the storytelling and the production and everything, the music and everything in that show, that is a quality show. So I don't think anyone can take that away from them. Anyway, great show, great ending. I can't believe there's no more Insecure. Shocking. And to me, I felt that the ending was consistent with what they've delivered throughout the years. So some people, the problem also is that some people build up expectation that they forget what something really is. There's so much anticipation, there's so much, or maybe one season you found really relatable because you've been through that, so that you really love that season. But this season, you can't relate with this because you haven't experienced this. That doesn't mean that it's bad. Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. Objectively, I understood what they were doing. And objectively, I think it was a great season finale. And I think that it was very consistent with what Insecure is. And that's why I appreciated this season finale. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. Peace.